Semen retention completely changed the way I viewed. Semen retention completely changed the way I thought about women because I was able to tune into them a lot more. I was able to absorb their feminine energy that I didn't really realize what I was doing at the time, but I realized with so much energy that was surging through me from doing semen retention, I was able to remove this thing called lust that I was kept putting at the forefront of every interaction I had with women. As a young man, obviously, when we meet a woman that we're attracted to, we want to chase. And when we want to chase, usually that entails us thinking constantly about what can I take from her? And in doing so, you don't actually think about her, you're just thinking about you the entire time. And so basically when you have all this energy and you're able to just remove that need for lust, that need for pleasure, that need for getting her number, or that need for sleeping with her, you can then tune into her. And it requires energy to tune into someone. You can't just do it and then be expected to hear what the other person is saying. And this doesn't just go for women, tuning into other men as well. If you actually want to listen to them, you need a lot of energy. You need to have certain amounts of energy stored up within you so that you don't just get distracted, or you don't just need to chase after more energy from somewhere else. Basically, when doing semen retention, I did it for 100 days. And just before doing it, the guy who told me to do it, he said, when you do this and you're able to charge your energy up, your chi energy up, he was a Buddhist, when you're able to charge your chi energy up, you're gonna realize that women just wanna be around you more. And so I'm like, okay, what the hell does that even mean? So let me try it, sounds interesting. So I do it, and then it's not that women wanted to be around me more because I was more attractive, or I felt like I had this super masculine energy, even though I do think that that's what it was, but not what you think it might be. But basically I realized that it wasn't because I was more attractive on the outside. It's because when you have that much energy, and this was about on day, out of 100 days, this is on day 60 or 70, somewhere around there. What I noticed is that all this energy surging within me. Every day felt great. Every day I was training. Every day I was doing things that I had so much energy. I had so much focus when I was talking to people. I had so much clarity when I was articulating my words to people. And then being around women, if I would ever go and see, not just go meet new women or on a date or something, or just for a coffee, but I was seeing female friends that I'd been friends with for ages, and I'm listening to them talking, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, okay, even this is one of my friends, she was very attractive, and maybe I would have slept with her if she had wanted to, but if she didn't, it's fine. It's we're friends, and she is very attractive. But the whole time I'm talking to her, I'm just looking at her and I'm just listening to her. And I had never really had a super deep conversation with her. We knew each other as friends and from kids, and we had hung out a few times. But I'm looking at her as an adult. This is when I was 27. And I'm looking at her and I'm just watching the way she's talking. And she keeps looking away and this and that, yeah, da, da, da. And she keeps stuttering, not stuttering she's super nervous, but I felt like she was talking really fast and stuttering at the same time. And I was like, maybe she feels like I'm not listening, or she feels like she has to speak super fast and then stutter because she's nervous, and then she feels like she has to speak super fast. And I'm looking at her, and I ask her just do you feel like people don't listen to you at all? And she was like, wow, yeah, I do feel like people, so many people don't listen to me. My parents don't listen to me. My friends, my close friends, they never really listen to me. And yeah, I feel like my whole life, no one's really listened to me. And I was like, wow, what am I even picking up on right now? What am I tuning into about this person? And obviously, this makes me sound so shallow that I'm like, wow, I never listened to a woman once. It's no, it's more just I never thought about tuning into this to women like this. And I never knew what I was picking up on with all this stored up energy. And when I tuned into her, I was literally just asking her more questions wow, tell me more about how no one ever really listened to you in your life, or how you feel like no one's ever really made you feel listened to. And she's like, yeah, it started when I was a kid, I was never the coolest girl in school, and blah, blah, blah. And I was always made fun of, and blah, blah, blah. And I had braces on when I was a kid. And I was like, wow, tell me more about this. And just asking her these things about, wow, we're going really deep, and we're going really, really deep right now, but it's about her. I'm not like, oh, I had this insecurity. I'm like, oh my God, I had an insecurity too. And then she's like, yeah, you know, no one really listened to me. And I'm like, oh yeah, no one really listened to me either. And it's that, you know, like when people do this, when someone's saying something and then the other person always just makes it about themselves. And it's because they have a need to, they have an impulse to, because of something, because maybe they don't feel like they're being heard. Or they hear something, a story, and they immediately get triggered and we're like, oh my God, I need the attention now. Or this is my opportunity to steal the attention. Whereas when you're conscious enough, when you have sort of this, you're able to center yourself and not need that attention, then what happens is you can just focus on the other person. And women feel this because look, women want to be with a guy for intimacy. They want to be with a guy for real intimacy. And a guy wants to usually be with a woman, especially for like a one-night stand, just for pleasure. Just for pleasure. And so if you don't make that distinction, like, okay, if what she wants is intimacy, if what she wants is like true connection, then all I have to do is listen to her and make her feel listened to. And this isn't like me trying to give you a tactic to sort of manipulate a woman into liking her. But because a woman can sense if you're just listening to her, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, tell me more. Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, yeah, tell me more. Tell me more. Or when you're really just sitting in silence and watching her and listening to her. And you're not just listening to her, what she's saying. You're literally watching her body language. You're watching her eye movement. You're watching how she reacts to stuff. You're watching if she's like texting other people while she's talking to you. You're literally responding and tuning into that entire being as a person. And if your mind or sexual energy is scattered all over the place, then it's very hard to tune in because all you're thinking about is me. What can I get from me to give me more energy, to make me feel more secure, to make me feel more validated, to make me feel better right now? Except when you do semen retention, you feel amazing. You feel great. You feel strong. You validate you. You give yourself this sense of like comfort that's like just honestly unmatched. Like I've never felt so good, comfortable, strong, and also just masculine, like in my highest masculine energy when I was doing semen retention. Basically then, when you are able to tune into a woman, what you're able to then do is you are able to absorb the feminine in her, the feminine woman within her. Because that's what masculine energy is. A truly masculine energy is meant to settle a nervous system, okay? Not just a female nervous system, the nervous system of children, the nervous system of other men, who honestly, some men just need that. They need to be around strong, powerful men that they can just feel strong with. Because sometimes when men isolate themselves and they feel lonely, sometimes they just feel like pathetic losers, that they have no structure. And sometimes, you know, not all men, but a lot of men, they have to follow. And usually they want to attach themselves and follow a strong, centered, masculine energy that gives them direction, that just says, look, get your life in order. Look, sort yourself out. Look, stop wasting your semen just jerking off into a sock every day, watching porn and just giving into your urges like a little, you know, piece of shit. Don't do that. And sometimes they just need like a general in their life to just be like, look, bro, stop doing that. Stop self-sabotaging yourself, because you keep self-sabotaging yourself. And then in that sense, like, someone has to, like, if a guy is able to tap into that energy and he's able to tune in to be able to absorb people, meaning like absorb different energies, absorb the feminine, absorb even other masculine and children, you're able to settle a nervous system. I promise you that is literally such a good way of describing masculine energy, because that is it. That is so it. I was fortunate enough in my life to grow up with a father who was probably the most masculine man I know. And I just, like, he had 9 kids. My father had 9 kids. And he was able to settle our nervous system. I mean, like, for all of us that were close to him, that are close to him, like, he was able to settle the nervous system. At least for me, like, you know, if I ever needed anything, I could talk to him about it. If I ever had any worries, he was able to just calm me down and just be like, you know, why are you stressing? Why are you upset about your breakup? Why are you upset about you have no money? Why are you upset? Like, why? Look at yourself. And he was able to just like make me realize like, oh my God, yeah, actually, I'm just being chaotic right now. And I'm not centering myself in my true masculine energy. And that is what a man has to be able to do. If a man has no control over himself, if a man has no centeredness, then he will just get pulled apart by different things in his life. And if he doesn't sort of center himself around that, he's never really going to be able to find a woman that he wants, that he likes, because he's not going to be able to absorb her, and he's not going to be able to tune into her, because his energy is just going to be all over the place, and he's not going to be able to control himself because he's just masturbating everywhere. And that is also signaling something to himself, meaning like, I need pleasure, I pleasure myself. I need food, I go eat McDonald's. I need this, duh. And I'm just like, fulfillment. I want fulfillment. I constantly just need satisfaction and fulfillment. And then there are people that say like, oh, you should just enjoy your life, and you should just, life should be about enjoyment. But then it's like, yeah, but to what degree? Like, to what degree? You can literally sit in your own jizz like all day long, not clean yourself, not shower, not take care of your health, not brush your teeth, it's like, and you're just like, yeah, I love it. I love being this way. It's so nice because I don't have to do anything and answer to anyone. But then those people are pretty disgusting and pretty crazy, and they don't really fit into society very much. Whereas like, I also think fundamentally what those guys do not do when they're messy and dirty and unstructured and undisciplined, and they just keep giving into their urges and they have no control over themselves, they unsettle people's nervous systems. They unsettle their mother's nervous system. They unsettle their sister's nervous system. They unsettle their father's nervous system. They unsettle their friends' nervous systems. And I'm sure everyone knows a guy like this who does this in their life. They just go in and they're just like fear-mongering. Let's talk about the end of the world and this and negativity and this. And what are you doing, bro? Okay, talk about negativity. Like, yeah, maybe you don't agree with everything in the world, but if what you're going in there to do is just unsettle people's nervous system and then just chow, that's just an ego problem. That's an inability to control yourself, and that is the opposite of masculine energy. Because if they were truly masculine, they would not be unsettling people's nervous systems. They would be helping people settle their nervous systems, settle women's nervous system, settle their mother's nervous system, settle their father's nervous system, and everyone around them. Everyone they meet, they can tune into them and settle their nervous systems. And whatever you think that is, settling a nervous system, basically, fundamentally means relax people. Relax people when they're around you, lift them up, It's like tap into their hormone system by giving them good things, by giving them words of affirmation, by showing them possibilities, by showing them things that they could potentially do with their lives that raise them up in a way. But before you give advice and just dish it out, listen to them. But if you're not willing to listen, well, fine, then you're not going to impact that many lives in your life. But when you do semen retention, I promise you this becomes so much easier to tune into people, to tune into women, to listen to them, to absorb their energy, to make them feel heard, to make them feel seen. And in doing so, I promise you, you are going to be so much more attractive to them. Not sexually, well, perhaps maybe, but like I said, women want sex not for the pleasure of it. They want it for intimacy. That's what entices them to want a guy. They don't want a guy for, oh, I want him to fuck me for 3 hours straight. I mean, sometimes women do that, but they want intimacy. Fundamentally, they want intimacy. They're wired for intimacy. They are wired to want to make a guy like them, to impregnate them so they can procreate, so they can live in a household safely, okay? It's to protect their nervous system. That's literally their mammalian biological purpose to do that. And if you don't know that, or if you don't know that as a man, like you just haven't listened enough. And you probably haven't listened because you keep wasting your energy that you could be using listening, that you could be using absorbing information, vital information that will probably lead you to finding the right woman, that when you meet that woman of your dreams, and I promise you, every guy is going to meet that woman of their dreams. When you find that woman of your dreams, you are going to want to have the capacity to absorb her energy, to listen to her, to make her feel loved, to make her feel seen, to make her feel attractive. But in doing that, you have to be able to listen to her. And if you can't, I don't think she's going to like you very much. I don't think she's going to choose you. I don't think she's going to want to be with you because you're not really listening to her. I mean, yeah, maybe she can date you and maybe she can use you to fulfill something in her, but it's not going to be a very long-lasting relationship. Because if you don't train this, it's a muscle. You have to train yourself to listen. You have to train yourself to be disciplined so that you don't masturbate every day. And even if you are going to ejaculate, if you're going to do semen retention, but at some point you are going to ejaculate because you're not going to do semen retention forever, do it with someone that you love. Do it with someone that loves you. And I promise you it's going to be so much more fulfilling. It's going to be so much nicer and so much better. If you guys actually like this information, I actually have a school community called Male Focus. And in this, we dive into so many different things about men just focusing on things in their lives that they really want. Business, relationships, quitting things like porn, and doing semen retention. It is a channel for men to help men improve themselves and develop their lives. Okay, so if you like that, check out the link in the description. You guys, if you also like this channel, please give me a thumbs up in the video, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.